Hey heroes, Cap here with a Marvel's Avengers video. Yesterday we got our very first looks at Winter Soldier's full combat abilities and breakdown. So let's take a look, see what he can do, and see how powerful he's going to be in Marvel's Avengers when he drops on Tuesday, November 29th. Now the very first look that we got is his intrinsic abilities, that Steel Forged Tenacity. This is going to be all done through parrying damage, which kind of similar to Cap and his shield, how he can block with the shield and kind of make out a concussive wave of energy that kind of pushes all the enemies back. Now once you fill up that intrinsic bar, let's unload on Red Star Rising, intrinsic overcharge, where he increases in melee damage after triggering. And think of a mixture of Black Panther with a percussive blast, as well as Jane. Jane, when she's overcharged, increases her range damage. This is all about increasing melee damage. Now if you want to utilize some intrinsic attacks, going in for that sprint using the Glinting blade. This is our first looks at the knife itself and how it is involved in the combat of Winter Soldier. Next up we have the explosive entrance, the heavy sprint intrinsic, which is a ground pound with that bionic arm to send the enemies flying. It looks like so far most of his attacks and most of his abilities are going to be that heavy melee focus to really showcase his strength and that bionic arm that was given to him by the Soviets. Now next up is So Below, the signature air attack that hits the ground, a shockwave that staggers all the enemies. It doesn't send them up in the air quite as much as the explosive entrance does. This one's more so to increase stagger, and if you're going in for that heavy power attack, you're going to be unloading on the buckshot, which is you can upgrade to a ranged attack, and looks like it varies based on the gun settings that you have, from full auto, a high power round, and utilizing his grenade launcher. We're speaking of that range attack, suppressive fire, that's where you get your burst option of the gun, and you can charge it up for one heavy power round. And it looks like there's varying options, similar to Black Widow and her pistol. Now next up, his traversal. It looks like it's a mixture of both Cap and Black Widow. Now let's move on to the good stuff, which is his heroics. Soldier Tech Nonsense. The greatest name given to any of the heroics in the entire game. This is going to be a support heroic, and it's going to make him invisible after a little bit of an explosion. Now this was deemed as a personal invisibility, with the option to later on in his skill tree spread it to other heroes that were on the battlefield. So not as much like Black Widow's, but still going invisible like her. Now his assault heroic is going to be that airstrike when you're dropping multiple bombs on the battlefield in a spot to deal damage. It'll be really interesting to see if this airstrike comes with the status that Winter Soldier has on him, because that will make it even more powerful and even a crazier build idea. And finally, if you're ready to really unleash the Winter Soldier, go for the ultimate heroic, Protocol Override. This will increase your melee damage and has full use of the knife when you're doing light combo attacks. This marks the enemies for easy takedowns without having to stagger them. So think of Brooklyn Brawler when you unlock it in the skill tree and just can take down any enemy that has less than 50% health. This will increase your amount of takedowns that you can do. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Winter Soldier and how you think he's going to work. How kind of build are you going to go with? Be sure to check out my other videos to prep you on how to level up Winter Soldier and what kind of builds to go for with him with these combat. As always, heroes, stay amazing, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.